Nexxlegacy.
Got my man, Mr. Bowlegged Lou in the building on this edition of Branded After Dark. Salute. What's happening, bro?
Branded After Dark. What's going on, my brother? How you feeling?
I'm blessed, man. Happy holidays, man. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving, just happy, man. It's a blessing, and it's a blessing to be on your show, man. It really is, and nothing but slow jams, and you know I love slow music, and we got a surprise slow joint that you know you're gonna premiere for your listeners too later on. But just happy to be here, man. How's everything going?
Man, everything's beautiful, and you know what I'm saying. Before we get into the formalities, questions, answers, the whole nine tonight. On this edition of Branded After Dark, as I always do, man, I got to say thank you, man. Being a fan first, the music and the group has been instrumental in molding and shaping not just careers, but not just minds, but everyday households, everyday lifespans that people have. The power of music is real heavy. So Full Force in my household was real epic at, you know, during the time of the 80s and 90s and stuff like that, man. So I definitely want to thank you for the talents and everything that you brought to the table and the group has as well throughout the career. And definitely appreciate you as an artist, first and foremost, off top.
Yo, thank you so much, man. I appreciate. I never take any compliments lightly. I don't take them for granted. And, yo, man, I just appreciate. I'm an appreciative type of brother, and I appreciate you for those words, you know, really do.
Man, you know you go through life, man. You go through and I mean, the appreciation, do you feel like when it comes to just the career that you've led so far, because, I mean, your legacy is still being written, even though you have established one. It's like most people that have music that stands the test of time, they can retire and just sit back and be like, hey, you know what, I did that. You know what I'm saying? But you still pushing the line, doing a lot of stuff in this entertainment business. Do you feel like the appreciation is where it should be when it comes to it?
Well, listen, amongst our fans and the people that has always supported Full Force for our music and even for our movie appearances on Crush Groove and House Party 1 and House Party 2 and even Who's the Man, I definitely feel appreciation from them and people, from fans. I think as and definitely from our peers, like the peers in the business, like that does what we do. I definitely feel the love from them and the respect almost every time from the true school artists, especially when we meet. It's always nothing but love and respect. So I definitely feel the appreciation. Now, as an overall, like in the industry, the appreciation might be a little taken for granted because sometimes people get amnesia. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is that, you know, a lot of people don't know. And it's almost like when people are put on certain things, they will and hear about Full Force, you know, some even industry cats that probably never knew, when they see, they go, wow, I didn't know Full Force did that. But even some of your listeners and some of our fans, really, they're always learning something about us anyway that they've never known. Like they'll say, man, I didn't know those guys produced James Brown. Some people still don't, you know, remember we produced James Brown's whole last top 10 album, and his last top 10 singles, I'm Real and Static, was written and produced by Full Force. So from Patti LaBelle to B.B. King, Bob Dylan, Rihanna, Black Eyed Peas, Philip Bailey, I mean, Gerald Levert, Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, I mean, Nicki Minaj, who started out with us. She was with us for 4 years before she really spread her wings. So we gave her the starters kit to really groom, and that's what we did. We groomed her, and a lot of people don't know about that also. But a lot.
And I was going to ask you about that too. I was going to ask you about that because, you know, a lot of people, you know, when they hear Nicki Minaj now, they think about Young Money, Lil Wayne, this, that, and the other. But I mean, you guys was instrumental in molding and shaping the kind of person that she has become now. You know, and that was one of the things I wanted to bring up because, of course, we have that younger generation where, you know, everybody gravitates to the here and nows as far as, you know, okay, the Lil Waynes and the Young Moneys, like I said before. But, you know, people tend to forget, like, the people behind the scenes is just as instrumental as what you see up front. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. No, you're right. a lot of times people just don't know. Sometimes they're misinformed, or sometimes they're not informed at all. And, you know, I'll give it to Nikki. We're very proud of her. In the very beginning, we parted ways amicably, everything, because you know, we really grinded with her. First, she was with my son in his group called the Hood Stars. My son goes by the name of Loustar, Loustar, and he's a rapper, and he's been grinding, and he's a very talented brother. So him and Nikki were together with their group, the Hood Stars, with his group, the Hood Stars, and they grinded, and we grinded with Nikki. And then after a couple of years, then we took Nikki solo, and we went to all these record companies, including taking her to Jay-Z and to Ty Ty and to Kevin Lyles. We took it to all the record companies, you know, G-Unit, everybody. But they, at the time, they weren't into signing any new female rappers. They just wasn't into it. But we grinded with her, and when we parted ways amicably, when MySpace was just coming out, I told Nikki, I said, Nikki, you know, you should really grind on MySpace. If you jump on MySpace, you never know, you can create a buzz. And that's what happened. You know, when she got on MySpace, that's when her buzz started happening, because she still weren't doing anything. 2 years after our amicable parting, she just started grinding. And then she got discovered by accident, which was a great way to get discovered, when she was on a DVD called The Come Up. The DVD is just a regular DVD, a music DVD. It's a mixtape DVD, actually. And Nikki was on it. Lil Wayne was hosting it. And what I mean by hosting it, he would be, you know, throughout the DVD, they would film him separate from wherever he's at. Hey, what's up, y'all? Lil Wayne, blah, blah, blah. But it just so happened that on The Come Up, Nikki, they did 2 videos of Nikki. So one video played of Nikki, then right after that, you see Lil Wayne hosting. And then after Lil Wayne finished hosting a segment, then they put the other Nikki video in. Now, Wayne never heard of Nikki before, never saw Nikki, and even while hosting, he just hosted separately from another location. And then when the DVD came out, a lot of Wayne's friends was like, yo, man, did you see that girl? And he's like, what girl? Then when you look at the DVD, bam, you saw Nikki, and the rest is history. You know, but the bottom line is that we grinded with her, we groomed her, took her on a whole bunch of shows, a whole bunch of labels, and we did the doggone thing for her. I was glad that she finally gave me some props and a mention on the E! Entertainment biography they did of her. And they mentioned me twice and showed my picture twice. So I'm like, okay, finally, you know. So, you know, sometimes, you know, what you do in the dark will eventually come to light. You know what I mean? So the bottom line is that, you know, we just doing what we do, man, and just staying positive, you know.
Man, I think overall, like, you know, that's a good piece of new history to tag along with a lot of what you guys have done. You know, you, of course, is full force when it comes to being so instrumental in this game, not just today, but back in the day. Like, you know, a lot of people probably forgot y'all produced the UTFO joint, Roxanne, you know what I mean, which was monster back in the day.
Well, that started it all for us. You know, that started our whole production thing. First of all, it's 3 brothers and 3 cousins in full force. The 3 brothers is myself, Olega Lou, Paul Anthony, B Fine, and my cousins, Baby Jerry, Kurt, and Shy Shy. So it's the 6 of us. You know, we're still together, still doing our thing, still producing, still performing every now and then as well, and we're just doing our thing. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
What was I saying? Yeah, so it's the 6 of us. So the 6 of us all together. So what happens is that here we are playing. First of all, me and my 3 brothers, we started out as the Amplifiers. That was the name of our group, the 3 of us. We were a singing group, and we performed all over the place, in local, from Brooklyn, New York, and we started performing at the Apollo Theater. That's when we really started out as little kids, you know, from 8 years old and 9-year-olds, and there we are, the 3 of us, performing on the Apollo Amateur Hour. Before it was a Showtime at the Apollo, because the Apollo Theater regularly had amateur night every Wednesday. So you'd have some of your big shows and all the legendary artists from Al Green to James Brown to Temptations, and right every Wednesday you'd have the amateur show. And you had to win 4 times in a row to appear on the professional show. And that's what we did. We won 4 times in a row by singing this song called Cloud 9, which was once made famous by the Temptations. And we got to appear on the professional show, after winning 4 times in a row, just like they did on Showtime at the Apollo. They boo you or yay you. We never got booed. And we appeared with the Whispers and the legendary Joe Tex. And then we got together later on with our cousins, and we formed Full Force. And we had a very dear friend of mine named Steve Salem, who went to college with me. He was our co-manager, because my father and my Uncle Cito started us out. And then I brought my friend Steve Salem in the business, and he was fearless white boy. Sometimes he'd be the only white face at an all-black show. And he was the one that gave us the idea to write and produce for other people. He said, "Hey, I think because we've been sending in tapes, and they've been getting sent back. But I think if you guys write and produce for other people, I think then we might get some attention." And I was the only one against it, really. And then before you knew it, he was right. We started, the first act we produced was some neighborhood friends in the neighborhood, UTFO, Tango, Dr. Ice, educated rapper, Mixmaster Ice was the DJ, and Roxanne, which was a B-side of an A-side, which we thought was the A-side, called Hanging Out.
Right.
And it was on Select Records. Us and Steve Salem managed the group, because we didn't just produce, but we managed UTFO, we managed Lisa and Club Jam, we managed The Real Roxanne with Hitman Howie T. We managed Cheryl Pepsi Riley, and we managed this girl group called Ex-Girlfriends. But UTFO's Roxanne started it all. My brother B Fine, it was his concept, and he said, "Hey, let's just throw it on the B-side." Back in the days, you had an A-side and a B-side. The B-side was like an afterthought side. And before you know it, that's the one they played. DJ Red Alert broke that record first, and we was mad at him, like, "Yo, man, you're playing the wrong side." He's like, "Yo, well, I like this side. I like the Roxanne record." "No, that's not the record." But that record was the record, and the rest is history. 25 answer-back records later, Roxanne just lit the fuse, and we started producing all the UTFO albums and records. And after that, then came Lisa and Club Jam, and we did the same thing with them. With I Wonder If I Take You Home and All Cried Out, and then Cheryl Pepsi Riley, I wrote Thanks for My Child, which was #1 for like 3 weeks. And then Ex-Girlfriend. A lot of people don't remember that girl group. But
I
Ex-Girlfriend, they were like the best girl group I've ever saw in my life. From this, and still. I mean, I love Destiny's Child, but they couldn't hold, to me, Destiny's Child couldn't hold a candle to Ex-Girlfriend. Their singing and their choreography combination was ridiculous. They were on Warner Brothers, and we had a top 10 record with them called Why Can't You Come Home. And then, we was going to do a second album, but then a lot of personal stuff got in the way and just messed up that whole situation. But, they had one of their lead singers, Stacey Francis, recently was on X Factor, and she did pretty good, but she was also an ex-girlfriend, so we helped to groom her at the beginning of her career as well. So a lot of these things, it's crazy.
One of the most underrated groups, like you said, Ex-Girlfriends. I feel like, a lot of people probably forgot. They probably need to go check the history too. But that's my thing that I always used to say when it comes to, having someone, a group, or any artist that meant so much to the industry or meant so much to the game. A lot of us younger people tend to forget or don't appreciate or take advantage in some cases the history lessons that you guys have taught throughout the career. So especially now when the game is so different than when you guys broke out. I mean, how has that transition been for you from how it was back in as far as radio play and music being on a record label to now being super independent now and just trying to, grind in a different way?
Well, you asked me how is it different, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't understand, like how, what do you mean?
Your comparisons to how everything was back then with radio, with marketing, with just the media attention versus just how everything has transformed into this day and age right now.
Well, here's the deal. Everything still, to me, it still hasn't really changed much, except you have the internet and technology, which is a whole nother animal. But back in the day, and I'm just keeping it real, with radio stations on the FM dial and the AM dial, and some of your top radio stations out there that's known to everything. There's a thing called what do they call it? Promotional, I forgot what they call it. Additional promotion, something record promotion, whatever it is. A lot of times, of course, that, and come on now, it's like they call it taboo, like you're not supposed to say it, but come on, back in the day, and even still now, you have a lot of record companies and record labels that will pay, certain radio stations, not all radio stations, but certain radio stations. So they'll do this thing called pay for play. I mean, not the internet stations, but I'm talking about the FMs and the AMs. Record labels will pay to get your record played on the radio. Bottom line. I mean, come on. That's what they call that, independent promotion. That's what they call it. Independent promotion. So, payola, which is still live in the game or whatever. But the thing about it is, back in the day, you had to wrestle with a lot of that because all the labels did it. All the labels did that. And the thing about it is that in today's day and age, they still do it, but you have other options. You have the internet radio, which plays great music, and they don't play like the same thing every 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like back in the day with the radio and the hustling and bustling. So that's the difference. The internet gives you more of options, and you can go to like so many millions of other stations besides the same one that'll play the same record 5 times in a row. But the grind is still there either way. To get your joint played or just to get your stuff across with the marketing and promotional dollars. It's crazy. Industry's still crazy. Yeah.
It's still crazy, and like you said, it's when you say a lot of it, kind of, especially nowadays, it's the grind is still there. It's still a hard business to succeed out of. What about some of these artists that will? Because you guys was heavy into fashion, and I'm gonna go ahead and ask that question now because there was so many people like you guys was real. You guys was setting fashion trends back in the day, but it wasn't all the way based just on what you guys was rocking fashion-wise. You guys had talent to back it up, whereas opposed to a lot of people nowadays are saying that a lot of people are more focused with their appearance versus their talent. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, back in the day, it's like right now, you gotta say right now it's more of a sometimes it's an appearance situation. Back in the day you had, with music, you could have a Gladys Knight or an Aretha Franklin or, Mary Wells, the legendary artists, and they could sing and they can get put on just for their talent alone. Nowadays, especially for the women, like if you go to an A&R or a record company and try to sell them an act or say, hey, listen to this act, and you hear the girl, she can sing great, and they're like, wow, man, she sounds great. What does she look like, though? Almost depend on, you're going to have to look the part, to get over. Unless you do American Idol and you become like, Ruben Studdard, who wins and it's all good. But it's like Ruben Studdard wasn't on American Idol, would any record label sign him? I doubt it. You know what I mean? So it's crazy like that with the fashion that you're talking about. I mean, that's just how the animal is. Back in our day, our fashion used to be kind of crazy with full force. We dressed like rockers, but we had an R&B sensibility, and we had a hip hop attitude. That was full force, and we just did what we wanted to do. The thing about it is, we had the Jerry curls, but we were definitely the first act to showcase our bodies in a health type way, in a bodybuilder's type of way, because we focused on the health and focused on staying in shape and working out, So after us, then you came the LLs and the 50s and all of the people showing their bodies, but we've been doing that way before all of them, and we rocking the crazy outfits, and people didn't know what to make of us at the time. There's these guys with Jerry curls and muscles and crazy rock weird. But it's so funny because I had somebody like Fat Man Scoop, a hip-hop guy, and he was like, Yo, man, all I know is growing up, there's full force, the Jerry Curls and muscles and stuff, but not even the hardest rapper or the hardest guy would go and mess with full force. Because no matter what, man, we just, we weren't no punks or nothing like that, But just having a good time. Just kicking some freaking in. Yeah.
That's a classic from my man. You know what I'm saying? This is Branded After Dark with the music icon, Bow-Legged right here, locked in with a lot of people listening. I mean, from overseas. And I know the fans of Full Force comes by the tons when it comes to just being a part of history. I mean, does it still kind of shock you, too, that there's so many people checking for you in so many different places overseas, not just in the States, but all over the world?
Well, it doesn't shock me because we had fans all over the world for such a long time, but it's very humbling at the same time and gratifying and very appreciative. We're just a type of appreciative people, and that's how it is. I want to give a shout-out to a brother that even that told me all about your show, man, and he didn't have to even show me anymore, but he's a good brother that's always been holding us down with the support and everything. He goes by the name of Kevin Gray, and Kevin Gray, he lives in Massachusetts, I think, and he's always on the grind, always supporting us as well. I mean, you know him pretty well, right?
Absolutely. Kevin is the man, so definitely big ups to Kevin. He's instrumental in a lot of different things, and he's a firm believer in and somebody that supports you guys to the depth. So it's always encouraging to be able to network with, talk to people that have the same music beliefs that I have when it comes to people like yourself, Lou, that, we got to do more to show our appreciation for you. So shows like this is not just an honor, but, I mean, it's historic because, again, somebody like myself, and there's a lot of people out there listening tonight, they're major fans, and they've been like that since, for decades on end. So it's a lot of love in the air tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, man, I definitely appreciate that. Also, Kevin, did you guys interview Foursome D's? Did you do Foursome D's?
Absolutely, and that's one of the questions I was going to ask you. When it comes to, I know everybody's kind of, you guys are bonded by that force, that name, because, it's so strong. You dig? So Foursome D's, Full Force. I know you guys are working on a project, you know what I'm saying? So let the people know just a little bit about just the collaborations and things like that going on with Foursome D's.
Well, first of all, we love the Foursome D's. And my thing is that and in this business, you could be fans of one another, with your peers. And us and the Foursome D's kind of started out at the same time, but I was always fans of the Foursome D's. They're the original hip-hop doo-wop group, bar none. Way before Boyz II Men and before New Edition, and they're the ones that actually put hip-hop and R&B together before anybody, and I mean before anybody. Us as a band, we were called by the Billboard magazine editor by the name of Havelock Nelson, dubbed us the original hip-hop vocal band, which we were the original hip-hop vocal band. There was no other band doing hip-hop and R&B together before Full Force. And the Foursome D's, we used to always get mixed up back in the day, and we went on tour a couple of times on the Fresh Fest and other tours, and sometimes they would mix us up and they would call us the Full Foursome D's, or they would tell Foursome D's, hey man, I love you guys in House Party, or then they would tell Full Force, hey man, I love that song Tender Love. So we'd always get mixed up, but it was always my dream to come together with the guys and do this thing called Forces Join Forces, which is what we do. But sometimes Full Force and the Foursome D's will go on the road together, and we'll do some shows together, and we'll perform and do our set, and they perform and do their set. Then we join forces and we perform together, and it's incredible. So if anybody out there, any booking agencies, if you want to book Full Force and the Foursome D together, feel free to give that call. And we're on the website everywhere, and we'll come to your town and rock a show. But we're doing an album as well. We're doing this great song called I Can't Thank You Enough, which is a slow joint. We're going to give it to you when the time is right. And well, this up-tempo joint called The Baddest Chick in the Club, which is crazy. And we've done both of those together, And listen, man, And listen, I know Kevin Gray. Before Kevin Gray became a great friend of mine, because he really is, he always loved the Force MDs way better than Full Force. He just felt sorry for us, and then he started giving us the love. Other than that, Kevin Gray wore the Force MDs flag for life. In fact, he used to promote the Force MDs so much on Facebook, I had to cry, yo, Kevin, man, give Full Force some love. And then he finally started giving us love. It was the Force MDs and Vanilla Ice. That's who Kevin was promoting. That's my boy. That's my boy, and I appreciate it so much. I'm just kidding.
All right, man.
Wait, Brandon. One more thing before you go, just to let the listeners know, and you also know, man, that we, if you're familiar with TV One, they have this award-winning show called Unsung. Are you familiar with that show?
Absolutely.
It's one of my favorite shows ever on the whole TV One network. So January 2nd, they will be that's when they start their new season. They will be televising a good friend of mine, a great friend of mine, may she rest in peace, Vesta Williams. They will be doing an Unsung on Vesta, January 2nd. And then January 30th, 30, they will be doing one on Full Force. And, just want all the listeners to mark your calendars. January 2nd, Vesta. That's our friend. I'll be a part of that also. I'm part of her Unsung. And then Full Force, which they do a great story of us. And, when you see our story, I mean, you'll see everything that we've done, and you'll learn a lot more about us as well. And you'll be very impressed, because we're impressed as well of ourselves, and we're very proud of ourselves. So you'll get to see the life story on Unsung January 30th, and put that in your calendar. So,
that's what's up.
Yep.
And Vesta, love her to death. May she rest in peace. Like, she's that talented. That's an understatement. She's definitely blessed voice, no doubt.
And not only the voice, but the personality. She's crazy. She's funny, and I spoke with her 2 days before she passed, man. I read her the poem that I read about her that I did for Unsung. I don't know if they're still going to keep that poem that I wrote, because it was very funny, and because she passed away, but she was loving it when I read it to her and laughing and everything like that, But I love Vesta so much. May she rest in peace. And it was just crazy to speak to her in 2 days, and then she passes away. Because she sounded happy, it's just crazy, And I got a chance to work with Vesta, and I would always look out for her. And if we have shows, if there's shows I could put her on or with us, I always did. Like in Las Vegas, she did some of the greatest shows of her life out there with us. And she imitated Tina Turner, imitated a lot of people. She was so multi-talented, and again, a great person, a funny person. And when you guys see her on Unsung, you will see exactly the crazy personality that she is, And we did.
I believe it.
It was our honor to have her do, produce a song on her with a whole bunch of other guest artists as well. So
and that's something that a track we're gonna run that came fresh from your camp and from you, and it's titled "Float On With Us," right?
Yes, "Float On With Us" featuring Full Force, featuring Regina Bell, Melissa Morgan, Vesta, and the late great Isaac Hayes in one of his last recordings. And it's something from the vaults. We never released it or anything like that. But in fact, you could buy it. You can get it digitally, actually, on iTunes on our album, "Float On With Us." I'm pretty sure when y'all listen to it, y'all going to want to definitely grab it for sure.
All right, and we're going to run this now, and we're going to come right back with you, because we got a couple of more questions. A lot of it kind of centered on to the movies and the soundtracks that you guys have been a part of, and a couple of more fan questions as well. This is Branded After Dark with Music Icon, a hot track right there. Like I said, they don't make music like that no more, B. They don't do that.
You like it, man?
Yeah, come on, man. That was a hot joint. Branded After Dark. Got my man gave me something exclusive over there, Bob. Hey, I could just tell by the vibe of that track, like y'all just seemed like y'all had fun doing that joint though.
Oh yeah, we had a great time, great fun. Oh, so much fun. especially with Mr. Isaac Hayes. He just had us cracking up for days. Yep. It was great.
Man, that's a good piece of music history right there. Yeah, and you said you had that in the archives for a while. You just let it loose.
That's in our vaults. That's in the Full Force vaults. But you can get it on iTunes on our album. It's called Forceful Mixture, and it's on iTunes. And that joint is in. And we went so Float On crazy. We even did a jazz version of Float On, which features George Duke, Najee, Bobby Humphrey, and Nile Rodgers. They all play their instruments, but they talk in the beginning like Najee. Hi, I'm Najee, and I'm a Scorpio, and I like this type of girl. And if you're that type of girl, then check this out. And then instead of singing, he plays this joint. and George do the same thing. Hi.
Those some powerful jazz dudes, man. I mean, that's some powerful music right there, though. No lie.
That's also on the album. Yeah, dope.
Man, definitely make sure y'all go ahead and check out. A lot of people asking, is it going to be something from Full Force, like brand new album? I mean, I know you got, forces join forces and stuff like that, but a lot of people want to know what's good with the album.
Yeah, we'll be doing something in 2012 for sure. But it'll be after our Unsung episode. We got a new book coming out the same month as well. It's called Not Just a House Party. It's a very personal book, and it talks about our personal stuff. So we got new music coming out, I guess in the summertime, which will be kind of hot too,
That's what's up. And not just a house party, that's definitely going to be something I'm a cop when it drops. But also, I mean, speaking of house party, a lot of people still love you guys from, what you guys have done with the movies, working with Kid and Play, just everything. Like, people can go back and still watch those movies for years on end, and they still get those laughs like it just came fresh out of the movie theater. I mean, how do you feel about just being one of them iconic situations where you can be able to take your talents, put it on wax musically, and then just take another part of what you do, put it on the big screen, and people still won't forget everything that you've done on that level?
Yeah, man, it feels great. It feels great, man. It feels very appreciative once again. We don't take anything for granted, bro. Anything.
See, this man right here is as humble as it can be, man. Come on, man. At the end of the day, when you was done filming, let's just say the first house party, did you feel like, what? I think we did something real special right here.
Well, I got to tell you, with me and my two brothers, because we grew up together, and as little kids, we used to do plays for my mother and everything like that, and my father. And I used to write these little corny plays, and we used to do, so we always had that chemistry. And when we was first of all, my brothers appeared in the movie Crush Groove. They appeared in it twice as the bullies beating up Russell Simmons, who was played by Blair Underwood, who's still a dear friend to this day. And in fact, Blair Underwood, he also is going to be in our Unsung episode January 30th. So ladies, if you want to see Blair, the bottom line is on Crush Groove, my brothers played the bullies, two guys, we're always playing bullies, and they played two guys after Blair Underwood and beat them up. So then after that, Reggie Hudlin, who wrote the script of House Party, when in the script it was describing, before he casted it, in the script it was describing people. They said, so the bullies will be chasing after Kid and Play, and they will have droopy jerry curls and bowling ball muscles. Somebody like Full Force. So we was written in the script. Somebody like Full Force. So then a friend of ours named Roger Ford, he said, yo, man, why don't you go get Full Force? Just get them. They might be perfect for the thing. So they called us up, and we went down, and they just wanted to see if we could act. If we could act, then we had the parts, and we did our thing. And the rest is history. Now, the thing about it is when we started doing House Party, like you're talking about us doing something special, in the script, our parts for House Party, to me, was very bland and regular and not really no big thing. And I told my brothers, I said, yo, we got to change these parts, man. I'm going to rewrite these parts and give us new parts so we could be bullies with personality. And my brothers at first was like, nah, man, just leave it alone. I'm like, nah, let me just change these shits. And I changed these things. So we changed it. I changed it and wrote all new dialogue for one of the scenes. And I said, if the Hudlin brothers like it, cool. If they don't like it, then we just go back to the normal. So
Right.
they saw us, and we bounced off each other. We acted out the parts, kick your freaking ass, and I smell. These are things that I made up. And when they saw us do all of that, they said, keep it. And that means every scene that came that was us in it, we wrote like new parts. And the Hudlin brothers just let us do our thing, man. And we felt it was going to be special because we were feeling great as we were doing it. And, people like Martin Lawrence and Tisha Campbell, and A.J. Johnson, they were, we were all newcomers.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the first movie, and the rest is history. I mean, when we went to special screenings, my God, it used to be crazy to test screening. People used to love it. And people was really surprised at our roles, me and my brother's roles. They just didn't know. We caught them off guard, with what we did, but it was such an exciting piece. And 20 years later, House Party still plays like all the time, House Party 1 and 2, and the kids that weren't even born when House Party came out, they all remember the movie, and especially my parts. Forget about it. I mean, Kick Your Feet. That's like my theme song, really. You know?
And by the way, we uncut and live, so you can say whatever you want to say tonight, bro. So,
Right.
You don't have to edit yourself.
Okay, cool. I'm so used to doing that. But, yeah, all the kids know, well, I don't curse in front of the kids, but they all know it. Kick your fucking ass. So that just became a staple. And I came up with that, and I'm like, yo, if I say this enough times in the movie and say it the way I'm saying it, I'm pretty sure people are going to always remember it. And, man, it's like a gift and a curse because everybody knows that. And every time I say it, they all know it and they reflect. And we talk about that in Unsung also, so it's crazy.
Man, it brings back so many memories. Because I kid you not, brother. The other day, I'll probably say about 3 days ago, I was watching the first House Party, man. Like, I could watch that thing over and over and over again and still be all right. Like, I still laugh like I ain't never seen the thing before, man. And that's a testament to just the energy y'all had, and like you said, Tisha Campbell, Martin Lawrence, like everybody's getting Kid and Play, don't forget them. Like that whole vibe just felt right. That was a movie that felt right to the consumer, a.k.a. the fans like me. You know what I mean?
You're right, man. And the thing about it is we're humble with that as well. We always tell the Hudlin brothers, thanks for changing our lives. But, something like that. And, in House Party it has a lot of lessons in there as well, even safe sex, like the part where, Kid is going to make love to Tisha Campbell, and Tisha's like, wait, do you got a condom? And,
Right.
They start looking for the condom. So it's one of those movies that stand the test of time. They call it an iconic movie and a classic, and, just so happy to be part of something like that, So, yeah, man, that was very fun doing it. And then through House Party, then people saw me in another little movie, and I was like, wait, we didn't even know you was in Who's the Man with Dr. Dre and Ed Lover and all of them people.
Sure.
But, but it was all fun, man. But the House Party is definitely something we'll never forget.
What do you think has happened to the evolution of soundtracks? Because, a lot of people, they not just love you guys for what you did on the big screen, but the first House Party joint, you had the Ain't My Type of Hype joint, you know what I mean, which still plays in the club, which is still a factor still. So, and that was, every time I hear that song reminds me of House Party. What happened to the whole, everything that went along with the movies and the soundtracks and the people working together to kind of fuse the two? It kind of seemed like it drifted off after a while.
Man, I was just talking today about how there's no soundtracks, no more soundtracks like back in the day. Back in the day, they used, you do your movie and you have a dope soundtrack to it. Now they don't even do that mess no more. It's crazy, But, soundtracks like House Party, they had songs by Today, the group Today with, I think it's called Why You Want to Get Funky With Me, and You know, even LL Cool J from the Break of Dawn and Flavor Flav, I Can't Do Nothing For You, man. I mean, but not only our soundtracks, just soundtracks in general. Now, if you taking it way back, you're talking about Curtis Mayfield with Superfly, that soundtrack.
Absolutely.
It was a great soundtrack. Isaac Hayes with Shaft. You know, even Willie Hutch with the Mac, with Brothers Gonna Work It Out, you know. And that's what, and even Curtis Mayfield again with Let's Do It Again with the Staple Singers for that movie. You just really had soundtracks. Quincy Jones doing soundtracks. I mean, those were the good old days, man, when you used to go like, oh, man, I can't wait to see this movie and then go buy the soundtrack. You know, they don't do that no more nowadays. It's just not.
Yeah, you mentioned those, and another one, you know, I want to mention, too. Remember the Bee Gees with the Saturday Night Live joint, like the How Deep Is Your Love? Every time you hear that song, reminds you of that specific movie.
Yeah, Saturday Night Fever, not Saturday
Saturday
Night
Night Fever, my bad.
Yeah,
my bad,
that's okay, that's okay. Yeah, that was a crazy soundtrack. That was a double soundtrack, and they not only had How Deep Is Your Love and, you know, songs that they made famous, but they even had people like the Tavares doing More Than Just a Woman and More Than a Woman to Me, and the Tramps with Disco Inferno. I mean, that was a crazy soundtrack, yeah.
A lot of memories that come along with it, too. So what do you think? I mean, because you've been in this business long enough, why do you think they drifted off and not let that be the focus of just some new stuff?
Man, I don't know why they drifted off. I don't know why. It's kind of crazy, to tell you the truth. I don't know why, but it's a little asinine, you know, but it's the times, the days and the times that we live in, you know, where sometimes you just got to shake your head, and I'm like, damn, I don't understand, but whatever.
You kind of look at it, and I've been doing it. I've been trying to find that answer for years, man. So, you know, you just like me. I scratch my head every day trying to figure it out.
All the time, man.
We got music icon, Bow-Legged Lou, Branded After Dark, and, you know, a couple more quick questions. When it comes to the social networking game, because, you know, of course, this is the day and age that we live in, it seems like y'all getting pretty active with it. I mean, you guys got your website, forceful.com, right?
Yeah, which is going to be updated soon. The website is forcefulworld.com, FORCEFUL world.com, and if you go to that website, forcefulworld.com, you will get our mailing address and our contact information, because a lot of talent we know is always looking to make it in the business, and you might have some great tracks, great songs. Even if you want to send because we're going to be doing a new movie next year as well, so even if you want to send in like an acting reel or anything, you know, we try to give opportunity. You know, it's like with UTFO. We found UTFO and gave that opportunity to record and take them in the studio. Same thing with Lisa, same thing with Shel Pepsi Riley, same thing with Ex-Girlfriend. So we gave that opportunity. We groomed Britney Spears. So you might have a great track. One time, this guy named Ernst Emil, he sent us the track, and we loved the track so much. Mailed it to us. We listened to it. They said, yo, guys, we might be able to do something with this. So what we did, we wrote to it, and his name is D. Emil, E-M-I-E-L, like D-Mile, and he gave us the track, and we told him we loved the track, and we ended up producing Rihanna on his track that he sent. And it's a song called That La La La. And it's on her first album.
I remember.
And because we gave another musician, another person, an opportunity, just by him doing what I'm telling all the listeners to do, to send us tracks to our, you know, P.O. box, make sure they're copywritten, and we'll check them out. And if we like it, you might be getting a phone call like D. Emil did. After he worked with us on Rihanna, he went out and did his own thing, because we said produced by Full Force and D. Emil. It's called That La 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 by Rihanna. And he went on to work with Janet Jackson and Mary J. Blige, and he produced songs on them. So,
man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Right? I mean, how is it after all these years? And again, I'm gonna get on your soapbox real quick, because there's not too many people, not like yourself in the group, that will be able to do that, extend that right hand to an up-and-coming artist to say, hey, you know what, let me take a look and see what you got, and maybe I can kind of, you know, find a home for it, and you've done that. What makes you B, that, I mean, for me it means a lot, and I know for the people out there it means a lot, but you don't get a lot of humble cats like yourselves in this business like that. So where did it all come from?
Man, I just think, I'm thinking most people do that now more than back in the day, because back in the day, I never heard of a group. I never heard of because somebody called us on, I think it was on Facebook, man, because, we have a Facebook page also called Full Force. There's a bunch of Full Force Facebook pages, but the one with, like, a new one that we have, like, over 6,000 members on it so far, that's the real Full Force. That's the original Full Force Facebook page. But somebody called us the first R&B hip-hop production team. And I'm like, wow, you know something? You're right. Because I take ourselves for granted sometimes. I'm like, we're the first R&B hip-hop production group, for sure, as far as producers, because there's never nobody back in the day doing that or giving people opportunities to be part of a songwriting scenario, because we had a lot of people produce and write us also. So it's good to give those people shots and give the people chances. Sometimes people want to be a little selfish and not do that, but it's great to do that. Nowadays, they would do that, but sometimes they might not get the credit, so you got to give people their credit as well and pay them. So, we definitely do that, and recognize, so we appreciate it.
I think that's what sets you apart from a lot of other people, because it is just like that. I mean, being humble is definitely a good look, but, just being able to be blessed to have that eye of talent because you're talented yourself, to be able to share that with others, that's rare,
Right.
bro. Seriously, that is so rare nowadays. Rare deal. And I gotta, and before I let you go, man, I gotta tell people, if they want to holler at you, you did mention your Facebook page, so toss that out there for the listeners listening, because your fan base, again, I want to stress that it's worldwide, not just in the States. There's so many people out in Japan, out in Germany, out in Australia that's locked in to Full Force. So let the people know where you're at.
Yeah, well, we love people all over. So on Facebook, you can go straight to Full Force, and there's a bunch of them. But just look at the new one that we started with, like over 6,000 members, and just go there and just like it. Press the like button, and you're in. As far as me, Bow-Legged Lou, I got too many friend requests right now. But all you have to do is you hit me on my inbox. Bow-Legged Lou, I was just listening to you on Branded After Dark. Can we be friends? Here's what I do, blah, blah, blah. I don't accept many people as my friends, but if anybody sends me something from Branded After Dark, I'm going to definitely link you up as one of my friends. And all I do is once you hit me, then I, in turn, just ask for your friend request, and then that's how you become my friend. Otherwise, I got too many friend requests. And then you can also follow me on Twitter, and it's Twitter at the Bow-Legged One. BOWLEGGEDONE, the Bow-Legged One, and you can follow me on Twitter as well. So, and our website is forcefulworld.com, but we will be updating that website next year to fullforceworld.com, and you'll be able to see a lot of things. We're going to have contests and cash prizes and for contests and stuff like that as well. Yep.
Okay. And also, Full Force has you guys have your own Twitter too, right? Full Force NYC, is that yours?
Yes, exactly. Full Force NYC. You can follow us on Twitter. The whole group is also. And you can follow my brother Paul Anthony. Paul Anthony is like the big buff guy that used to wear the headband all the time. My beloved brother, and he's on Twitter as well.
Hey, did he wind up? Did he trademark some headbands, man? Because he could have definitely did that if he hasn't done it already. He could have rocked that. Like, he set a trend for a lot of brothers, though, back then.
He sure did, but we weren't thinking back then. Man, we shouldn't think a lot of times. When we went on the road, we were so excited just to go on the road, and all the girls knew our names. Oh my God, bro! I'm like, man, we've never experienced anything like that. So many women and so many memories. But being on the road was crazy.
Before we say goodbye, what was some of your favorite? What is a memory or two that you pull out of your memory banks that you will never forget ever? I know you got a whole bunch of, but throw a couple out there.
Well, a lot of memories is meeting like celebrities that were celebrities that we knew that they were fans of ours and they loved us too, just as much as we loved them. Like Holly Robinson, and she came to one of our shows, and a lot of different ones used to come to our shows, and we were like, man. And but the crazy memories was doing these shows, and the hotels used to be ridiculous. This was in the beginning of our career, and I used to be like, wow, look at all these women. It's ridiculous. And it was just crazy, on the road back in the day. And, we talk a little bit more about it in our book, but it used to be ridiculous, man. It used to be some crazy nights. In fact, and even our crew, like, remember, in our neighborhood, we had neighborhood guys, friends of ours, that used to tell us during our rehearsals before Full Force became a name, they used to say, yo, man, y'all should get some jobs, man. Yo, man, get some jobs. And then once we made it in the business, we grabbed them with us and gave them jobs, and they came on the road with us, and it used to be ridiculous. One of the road guys, his name is Steve Warren, good guy. But I'll never forget when we were on the road, and like the very next morning, and there he was with the young lady. This is back in the 80s, and there's a young lady, and and she's like, oh, wow. So he's like, he has a picture. He said, Lou, could you sign this? It was a Full Force picture, and he's saying, yo, could you sign this for her? This girl that he was with. And I'm like, okay, I'll sign it for her. And as I started to sign it, I see right near my brother's face, my brother B. Fine, was a signature, but it didn't look like my brother B. Fine's signature. It was Steve Warren. It was Steve's signature, who's a roadie, and he signed it. And I'm like, yo, so B. Fine signed this? And the girl goes, yeah, B. Fine did. I said, where's B. Fine? And then she pointed to Steve. B. Fine's right there. I'm like, oh, B. Fine. He's posing as my brother's B. Fine, getting some ass as B. Fine. I'm like, okay, B. Fine,
wow.
I got you. Hilarious.
Classic. Classic.
These are crazy stories.
Man, you got me waiting for the book next year, man. I can't wait till that comes out. I'm definitely going to get that. Not just that, the music that you guys got ready for 2012, man. I'm looking forward to, just you guys adding on to the legacy that you guys already built, man. It's not just an honor, man. I respect the hell out of what you guys have accomplished so far, and much success to what you guys are doing going forward, man. I get inspired by good dudes doing good things, you know what I mean? So that's definitely dope to see. Definitely. So when you get ready to when Full Force gets ready to break their new music, hey, come to Branded After Dark and let these 300 and some odd thousand listeners go ahead and take a peek and see what you guys got to offer this time around.
Got you. No problem whatsoever, my brother. No problem at all.
Hey, I appreciate you hanging out with me for about an hour, man. Stay blessed. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you and yours, man. And don't forget to come back and kick it with your boy on a regular basis. This is your station. This is how we do.
Yo, Brandon, man, I appreciate you, man. I want to give a shout-out to all my fans, all the Full Forces fans and our supporters, all the positive supporters through the years. Don't forget, January 30th, we want you guys to tell everybody to check out Full Force on Unsung on TV One. Hit me on Facebook. Join our page on Facebook. Like our page. And follow me on Twitter at the Bowlegged One, but definitely like our page. And once again, a great shout-out to my boy Kevin Gray for hooking this up. Even though he likes to force some D's better. In fact, even you, Brandon, when you introduced that song "Float On With Us," you said, "And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Foursome D's, float on with us." I'm like, man, Kevin just brainwashed Brandon also. But listen, for all the ladies out there listening too, I'm gonna give y'all Kevin Gray's number. Here, ladies, 978-602-00. And I won't say. I'm just messing with you. I know Kevin is like, oh no, oh shit. I'm gonna give it up. Fucking hands.
I love it, man. I love it, man.
Right,
Hey, I'm
brother.
looking forward to Forces Join Forces. You know what I'm saying? Full force. I need, the game needs you. Trust me, the game needs y'all as a group. So I'm telling you now, trust me, the way things are going on, we need some stability, and you guys as a group gave it to us throughout the years, bruh. So, you know, you got, and not only that, if they want to holler at you for bookings and stuff like that as far as that, how can they contact y'all? Is it through the website, or you guys got an email to toss out?
Yeah. You can go to Full Force the Group at AOL.com, or you can go to us at hit me up on my inbox on Facebook. I'm on the Bow-Legged Lou. A lot of people don't believe it, but that's me, Bow-Legged Lou. And just hit me on my inbox also, you know, for shows or anything like that. Or you can go to Most Wanted Management, which is our manager, and we're just everywhere, because we're definitely up for doing a lot of shows. I mean, a lot of times we were behind the scenes a lot and just doing our production, but we did performance. We could perform as a 6-man group with the band, or we could do tracks with the 3 Full Force brothers, and we just having a great time, for real.
Head guy.
And check this out. Not only performances, but we do speaking engagements also. The 3 of us, motivational speakings at colleges, lectures, seminars, whatever. We rock the house, and we'll definitely be pushing our book, which will be coming out in January as well. So for speaking engagements as well, we are down. Okay.
That's the head guy at Forceful Enterprises, man. Appreciate the time, man. Like I said, man, come hang out with me anytime, bruh. Your fans love it. You know what I'm saying? We love it here, man. And again, man, much continued success.
Yo, man, I appreciate you, brother. Brandon, you keep staying strong yourself, man, and good luck to your radio show, and just good luck in everything you do, man, all right?
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Full Force icon right here. It's just like this classic track we're about to spin it.
Nexxlegacy.